you see all those old buildings in that montage and you think, the town's dead, it's broken, there's nothing there. Well, sometimes if you stop and look around, you can discover some interesting facts. So I'm off to have a look around and see what we can find out. This building here was built in 1910 and it's the first of its design outside of Europe. The owner is inside at the moment and he's turned it into a small museum, so I'm going to go and have a word with him.
Well, I spent 23 years in Oz, came back in 93, so virtually everything you see here has all been collected since 1993. Yeah, I started out being a coin collector, of course, stamp collecting, all that type of thing as a kiddie, and then it just grew and grew. The old story, 63 now, so it just never gets out your blood, it just sticks with you. A museum is a labour of love, like I was just saying. You need some income to support it. You've got to support it yourself. And how I'm going to do that, there's 5 flats above us, up in the upstairs here. They'll all get renovated to a higher class, 50 plus age group people, and the income from that will support this when I'm dead and gone. But the whole thing will go into a trust in perpetuity for the community. And I was a bit concerned when I first come to Eltham. I thought, oh, little town, but it is on the main highway, and I thought, oh, I'll see how it goes. So as I say, I bought the building, set it up as a museum here, and yeah, it's been excellent.
I'm now down below Mike's museum. This building being the first of its kind built outside of Europe, with a suspended floor and these pillars that supported it. In here was the bomb shelter during World War II and then was since used as a gymnasium and various other activities. It's now simply used for storage by the owner, but in case there was air sirens in World War II, this is where you ran to. So here I am inside the theatre, so I think we'll take the camera and go exploring. Looks very cute. You know, this theatre harks back to a time where, when the movie started, you would first stand for the Queen as the Queen's Guards played. I don't think many people today would stand for that. Well, that was a nice little discovery. It's very cute inside, and I think it harks back to another era, but I really enjoyed that, so let's see what else we can find. I've just discovered a colourful little building here, so I'll see what I can find out about it. So these hollow concrete blocks were used for the first time in Eltham in 1911 to build the facade here, the colourful front, the first hollow blocks in Eltham used. Simple. Here's something you don't see too often, a hitching ring for a horse. So I guess it could be a one-horse town. Here we have a traditional post office. This one was built in 1905. The phone box erected in 1923. And this one was closed in 1995. So what have I discovered about this small town? Well, the first road to be tar sealed in New Zealand was here. The first butter exported overseas came from here. The sign behind me gives reference to Taranaki's most famous Chinese immigrant, Chu Chong. Chu Chong arrived here in 1867 and he immediately recognised the Jew's ear fungus on native trees. This was used for food and medicine back in his homeland, and he would pay farmers and locals to collect this, supplementing their income. In 1870 he started buying butter from the farmers, and in 1874 and 5 he exported to Australia with varying degrees of success. But in 1884 he exported the first butter out of New Zealand to the UK. And in 1887 he built his first Jubilee factory over behind me here, and he made dairy processing history in 1889 by installing a Hall's refrigeration machine. He was very popular amongst the locals in the community right up until his death in 1920. So there we have it, the first butter exported out of New Zealand by a Chinaman. It has a freezing works, it's still going strong after 90 years. It has a cheese factory still going strong after 50 years. They've used this as a backdrop for a couple of movies. Back in the 80s came Hot Friday, and more recently Predicament. It is a small town, but it punches above its weight. I think it's not everybody's cup of tea, but some people would say it was perfect. And after all, what is a small town? It's a place where you don't have to know who your enemies are because your friends will tell you. If you ring a wrong number, you can chat for half an hour. The local businessmen compete against the city malls and shopping centres, but those same businessmen give generously to local projects. So I think it may not be everybody's cup of tea, but to some people it's perfect. And I think we'll leave it at that.